By now, you've likely seen that your PGE bill is going to be going up big time in a couple of months in January of 2024. The number being thrown around on air and online now is about a 17% increase in your power bill. That is, let's say, a lot. Here's what that looks like for the average residential customer. Your bill right now is around $130 a month, according to PGE. After the rate hike, a jump of $22, bringing that monthly bill to over $150. For those of you with commercial or industrial PGE bills, you're not off the hook either. Your bill will go up 16%. That's for commercial customers, 11% for industrial. The utility did not give us averages for those types of customers, mostly due to the fact that monthly bills are all over the board with that area. But yeah, you're going to be paying more. But there's always more to the story, as we like to say here at The Story. And in this case, it's not really good news either. Those rate increases are what's been approved by the Oregon Public Utility Commission so far. There's also a chance those numbers could go even higher by January 1st. We're going to get to the how these rate increases happen in a moment. But first, we went to PGE to ask why.
So some of the drivers of this rate case are fuel costs. It's become increasingly more expensive to acquire the fuel that we need to run our generation. And so that actually accounts for over half of that 17%. And so the fuel costs, but then also there's capital investments that we've been making over the past year or so to help us deliver that safe, reliable power that our customers rely on us for. And so some of those investments that we've made, they help to foster greater safety and resiliency during wildfire seasons. It also helps us be resilient and respond to heat waves or the harsh winters that we've seen over the last few years.
Okay. We're also told some of those investments regarding wildfire season include putting in more than 100 miles of power lines underground, installing fire-resistant power poles, and the remote monitoring systems. So how could that 17% rate hike get worse before January arrives? Well, the Oregon Public Utilities Commission, the regulatory board that decides if and how much utilities can raise or lower rates, still has a few things to rule on when it comes to PGE's request. We heard from the general counsel for the Oregon Citizens Utility Board today. They advocate for consumers and are at the table, so to speak, when the State Utility Commission is deciding on these things.
Well, these are called single issue rate making mechanisms. And so PGE currently has a number of single issue rate making mechanisms that are still outstanding before the Oregon PUC. Some of those are related to energy efficiency investments or demand response investments. And those are typically taken up by the commission before the end of the year. And the rates from those proceedings will become effective also on January 1st, which is the rate effective date of this rate case. So we're anticipating at least some upward movement in the total 17% increase that we're currently estimating at this time.
That's nice. While PGE tells us that there are no clean energy projects included in the 17% rate hike, the Citizens Utility Board says these kinds of increases are putting us on a path toward a greener future.
The utilities, PGE, and the other electric utilities that operate in Oregon are making investments to decarbonize their system pursuant to Oregon legislative mandates, such as the Renewable Portfolio Standard and our 100% clean emissions law that was passed in 2021. So there's going to be costs associated with transitioning to a decarbonized system. And at CUB, we view our role to make sure that that transition's done in a way that minimizes costs to customers. We understand that this is a big increase that customers are facing, but we are anticipating, greenhouse gas emitting resources like gas plants will be rolling off the utility system in future years, making room for more renewable investments that don't have any fuel cost. And so while this is a big lumpy rate increase for customers to absorb at this time, we're hoping in the future that we'll get to a level that's more sustainable as our grid continues to transition.
So while those companies slowly transition to green infrastructure, you can expect to send them some more of your green. Tomorrow on The Story, we'll tell you what PGE is proposing when it comes to helping low-income families afford the new hike in power bills. And not all utility costs are going up, by the way. This winter, Northwest Natural Gas is actually lowering their rates, which is certainly welcome news for customers. But, don't get used to it because a hike is likely on the way next year. We'll break down the reasons why again. Details tomorrow, right here on The Story.